All right, sweet. So today we are doing lemon blueberry crunch. This is an oatmeal stout, and there's some thought that's gone into this one. Not that there's not thought that's gone into other beers, but I'll kind of like open the hood and tell you about what I did with this one, and then some special in-house stuff as well that we've done that brings in other parts of the company, which is something I'm going to try and do a little bit more of. Okay, so at its base, this is an oatmeal stout. What does that mean? Typical oatmeal or typical stout is mainly barley. We get that dark color from roasted malts that are going to bring on a little bit of like coffee or chocolate character. In an oatmeal stout, there's a nice amount of oats, in this case, flaked, some malted oats as well, that are making up part of the grain bill. So what that's going to do to the stout is give it kind of a light, fluffy body. Usually it's going to give it better head retention. Here we're kind of fighting against a few other elements that I'll tell you about. So you're not going to see a ton of foam that's retaining on this guy. So that's what an oatmeal stout is. Now, the concept behind this beer, lemon blueberry crunch, is like it's like a play on like like a place or people that would be like crunchy, which is like a little bit hippie, a little bit like out in nature. Wanted to kind of like capture that idea, and then I was like, oh, that comes from like the term comes from like somebody who like eats oatmeal for breakfast, at least as far as I understand it. But whatever, it's kind of like in that vein. So I was like, all right, like what can we do there to make that like a little bit special? So we had Luke, who, if you don't know Luke, he runs the bakery. If you didn't know, we have our own bakery that serves all three locations. It's located right next to Big Slide. It doesn't have a storefront or anything. You can't go in there and like get a croissant to go or anything, but they make all the hamburger buns and the desserts and probably a bunch of other things that you guys know that I'm forgetting about. But I asked Luke if he could make a granola for me. So he made a special granola. We had to like take some things into account, some things that normally go into granola that we can't put in beer. And basically we roasted some honey with some granola, and that went into the mash for this. So that's one special element that's going into this beer. The other thing that we have obviously is the flavor profile on this thing, lemon blueberry. That idea, I got the idea for that. I was sitting like late summer one morning before work at Early Dawn Confections here in town, and I had like a awesome lemon blueberry scone. If you've been in there, you know that like that's a flavor that they use in a lot of things, sometimes in their donuts. And I was like, that's a really cool flavor profile to put against like a dark beer that's going to have some of those roasty elements. So this beer was born out of it. This is our first go around at it. I will keep putting batches of these through. I'll probably make it into a series, and we'll do like different flavor profiles. So it'll be like the crunch series. So yeah, this is the first one out. And let's do some aroma and some flavor, and just let me know what you guys are getting out of this thing. And also like anything that you're observing on it, whether it's color, body, those aromas or flavors, finish, whatever. Okay, let's hear it. What do you got? Okay, lots of blueberry, lots of blueberry. Yeah.
Kind of like velvety or like silky.
Velvety and silky. Yeah, that's coming from those oats too. So it should be like a nice smoother texture. Yeah.
I was saying it's not like viscosity like that.
Yeah, it's a bit thicker. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Okay.
It has that little citrus that lasts after,
Yeah, I agree. It's got the lemon there, and the lemon is, I think, a little loud in this version of it, but I might like pull that back a little bit next time. But it is definitely there. And what was important on this one for me was to deliver on that lemon blueberry. So um, some of the stuff that we did early on, like the horchata cream ale, didn't quite deliver on the horchata part of it. I've got another batch of that coming down the road that's gonna like hopefully like really deliver on it. But like for Za'atar Saison, this lemon blueberry crunch, like if I'm gonna put an ingredient that's like not one of the 4 beer ingredients in the name, I feel that it really needs to like shout that from the beer. So when you do that, there's like turn up the dial, so there's a little bit of like balance to dial in as well on subsequent batches. Of course, every batch that we make is the best, most awesome batch that's come out of this place. So that's between you, me, and the wall, and everybody on YouTube. Okay, what else?
It's sweet, but not like too sweet.
Yeah,
Sweetness, but not a ton.
yeah, and I think that I mean, that's like a big part of my style. Probably got that a little bit from the Black Forest, which was our stout that was on before this. We're having those elements that would suggest sweetness. Also, the Sakura is a little bit like that. And that's a big part of just like how I brew is like I want the essence of that in there, but I don't want it to be like sickly sweet or anything like that. So, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing for me is that the besides all the good things, is that the foam on this guy is not really what we'd call persistent. So it doesn't last; it dissipates very quickly. This is at a little bit lower carb too. We kind of did that to be like, all right, like more in the line of like a stout carb. I do think in the future maybe we'll put this beer on nitro instead of on CO2. Which if you haven't had a nitro beer before, that's kind of like what Guinness does, and it just delivers like a little bit of a softer, I would say carbonation, but of course if it's not carbon dioxide, it's not carbonation, nitrogenation. I don't know, less of a bite when it comes to the bubbliness of the beer.
Wise, with that being said, you
Yes.
can't really short pour a mug too much
Yep.
on that. You know, we're not getting much out of that.
Yep.
Tiku, no. Mugs.
I don't think, yeah, it's a good question. I think that like stout wise, I don't think that we're going to switch to a Tiku unless we've got an Imperial Stout. We'll keep going in the mug, and I'd just say fill them up, you know. We're not gonna, that's not gonna like mess with our margins too much, and we want happy customers over anything else. So yeah, that's a great point though. Really, really good. Oh, for those of you at home, the question was, do we fill it all the way up in the mugs, or do we go to like a Tiku pour or something like that? And then, yeah, see the answer that I just gave. Okay, anybody else? Anything? This has been on tap for, well, for just a day. Anybody sold any? Anybody described any? What's your experience been like?
Good feedback.
I just sold one, but she seemed like she is like dead set on it. She saw it and like absolutely she wanted to try.
Love that. Yeah. So that like so what was said was that it's like something that if you're dead set on it, like if you look at the menu, you're like, oh, this flavor profile, that's for me. Definitely want that. She said good feedback.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, good feedback is good. We'll take that.
Look on her face when she first said that.
Yeah, people bought more than one. You know, so
Okay.
they went back to it,
Great. Yeah.
which says they like it.
More than one is the test, you know, more than like anything like saying verbally that you like it or giving it a rating on what's it's called on Untapped. You know, the true test is like voting with your feet. Like, did you buy a second one? Glad to hear that people are. Yeah, this is like a really specific lane here. Lemon blueberry crunch. As always, bring me feedback. We are going to be doing more batches of this. We are going to be trying different flavors. If you have ideas, things that people are saying, let me know. Happy to hear it. Okay. Any other questions, concerns? Fantastic. All right.
Some concerns. But
Some concerns.
leave those out of the
And you can direct those to the circular
Yeah.
file. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Have a good shift.
Thank you.
Trust.